Amanda, hello, welcome. You're the first one here today.
Hey, how's it going?
So good.
Just coming back from physical therapy.
Oh, it's never fun. We'll give everyone else a minute more. What were you gonna
Well,
say?
it's been so much better. I said it's been so much better because I had knee surgery about almost a month and a half, 6 weeks ago, and it's been
Uh,
so much better. So I'm glad.
Good.
So yeah. So
Freaking knees are the worst. I feel like once you have a problem, it's just like a problem for so long.
well, and the problem is that it'll just continue to be a problem. So that's where I'm worried. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to have knee problems and be. I'm too young to have knee problems. That's all. That's all I think of.
Yep.
I got to keep running. Well, I have two open houses this weekend.
Nice.
It's not ideal though. They reached out to me and were like, "Can you do it?" And I'm like, "Have you guys reduced your prices?" And they're like, "No, but the sellers are motivated." I'm like, "Uh." they're-
Mm.
So, but I said yes to them because they asked me. So I'm like, "All right,
We'll go market them like crazy. You'll never know what you're gonna get with it.
it's
Um,
true."
Having good marketing and good signs sometimes can bring more people than even a price reduction.
Yeah, I know. Like here, I'm just driving. I there was a couple that was so interested in it when I did this probably 3, 4 weeks ago. And they
Hmm.
ghosted me, completely ghosted me. I'm like, all right, fine. But, I'm like, all right, I'll just tell them again. But I don't know. It's funny because I feel like people are just like, get out of my face. We don't want you. I don't know. I'm like, whatever. This is my theory. I may never see you again. So if I pester you, then I pester you. But maybe you want to use my services. So I'll just keep pestering you just in the event that you actually want to use my services. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like,
And I think
okay.
that's the best mentality to have. And then as long as you're not uh like I know you don't mean pestering like in a negative way, but
No, you're
as
right.
long as it's not going in the negative way, but
It's
like you're
no, right. Just asking
you're
questions. Hey, need
yeah,
help? Yeah.
I'm here for you. Yep.
So
Yep.
anyway,
Yeah. I love that. And it's to be honest, it's always going to be a challenge because
it
people want to move, but they don't know that they want to move, and they do, but they don't know where to go, and they're worried that you're just out to get something and not actually help them.
yeah, I know.
So
Because honestly, I have that same mentality when people are like, "Well, do you want it?" I'm like, I'll get back to you."
yeah,
I
yeah,
I do the same thing.
huh. Yeah. So you just need to figure out like how do you come from value and continually do that until people are like, oh wait, she's just like here to help me.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, well, it's just you, me, and Candy right now.
All
But I
right.
have a question, a scenario, um, that you will probably run into all of the time. So I want you guys to have a answer. Um, we were talking about Phil M. Jones yesterday, but he says that you should have something to say in the moments that matter. And so I figured let's pull a moment that matters and talk about it. So if someone who does not own a house that you do know says, I would love to buy a house, but the interest rates and the economy and enter excuse there uh, is just kind of holding me back.
Yeah.
What could you say in that moment?
Um, I think I would say, listen, the value of the house is always going to go up each year. So I would take the time and to go find a house and do it now because you never know what's going to happen next. Most likely it's going to go up. It's never going to go down typically. Um, I don't have the scenario, like I don't have it down pat with like an answer like that, but I would say something to that effect because that's what I have been trying to tell people. Like, listen, if you want to buy a house, wouldn't just be waiting for it. I would go and tackle that, and I would you can always refinance if the interest rates go down, but in the meantime, you are secure in a house, and the equity only goes up every year.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
Annie and Amy that just joined. We're running through a scenario. Someone that you know that does not own a house yet says, "I would love to buy, but it's like these interest rates are making it unaffordable, and the economy is challenging, and blah blah blah." And so, what can you say to that?
Well, I always encourage people to own their home because the equity will go up every year. You could prove it to them. You could show them, the past history of the property. But locations is important. If you choose a good location, the property value should go up. If you choose a wrong location, not all, the property value may not go up as much as you want it, but you are helping yourself when you are building your wealth. And yeah, you're right. When interest rate go down, we just refinance it. That I agree. That's a plan. That's I always tell people.
So I actually have one hopefully potential client now, but initially they were saying because they're green card holders here, and they're not really planning on staying for after they retire, but they'll have about 15 years to live here. And so they were saying that they were just going to rent until they have to retire and go back to the Philippines. And one of the scenarios I told them was um, like just having them realize how much they're paying for rent right now and multiply it with 15 years, and that's pretty much going to pay off for their home. And that like was like a light bulb for them. And I told them, it's going to be an investment, and at the same time you won't have to lose that 300K that you're going to be paying for the next 15 years. And instead of paying for rent, you'll be paying for your future home that you can resell in the future when you decide to move. And you never know if in 15 years you decide to stay here, or if you can resell it, then you will benefit from the equity that you build with that one, because in about 10 years, there's usually a chance that you're going to get a good return of your investment. And so that was a good turning point for them. Same kind of points to that Amanda was saying with like, you can always refinance later on if you're worried about the interest rates and building equity and all that. Those are usually my points that I share with them.
I'm liking all of these so far. Candy, you have anything different to add? Any other
No, pretty
thoughts?
much what she said about the renting. Coming from property management for 20 something years, you're throwing your money away when you're renting. You're giving it to somebody else to collect the equity. You're not collecting it, and it's your own home. So when it's your own home, you're building something to give your children, your grandchildren. You're building something for them.
Um, okay, so I have a point to make, and I was hoping that Candy would help out because our conversation, Candy, I thought that you might bring this, and right there at the end, you did it for me. So okay, there's this idea that logic makes you think and emotion makes you act. So every one of you had a very logical, let's call it argument, right? Like home values typically go up every year. You're paying rent anyway, and look at where you'd be in 15 years, you'd end up paying it. And all of that is true and right and a great argument. But then, like that last little line from Candy is where I was hoping all of you would take something like this. Like, Imagine what this would do for your family, for your grandkids, for your whatever. Let's bring the emotion into it because that's, I think, uh, where some agents succeed where others don't. And when you look at them, you're like, why are you having more success uh, in like this whole selling of things? And I think it comes down to the emotions. So
Mm.
if you had to change your answer, how could you make it more emotional? You don't even have to use logic. Could you make this more emotional? Someone's like, yeah, I'd love to buy, but the interest rates suck.
Well, I'm a teacher, so I can tell you students perform better when they have a stable environment. If a student has to move from places to places, it affects
Mm.
the learning, it affects the social life. Wouldn't you like to find a good place, just settle down and build your home and breast your own children and help them to find good friends and they can nurture the relationship? and uh, and then not only help them in school but also help them in personal growth too. If you move all the time, it's hard to make friends, and it's just hard for the kids because they have to adjust new school, new group of friends, and those kids usually don't do really well. Some will be really good at making friends, and most of them will just very shy and don't reach out.
I love it, Annie. Yeah, imagine your kids and the friends that they could build, the stability that that would bring.
Yeah, if
Like
you
that.
find some good friends, move to the neighborhood. See if you have really good friends or sibling that you want to live closer. Wouldn't be nice?
Now,
Mhm.
a whole nother thought that's all right around this line is you don't have to have the best answer if you can do some follow-up questions. And so you could even validate, like, yeah, interest rates kind of suck right now, but I'm curious what makes you think about buying right now. And then they're going to have some answer. And to be honest, it's probably emotional. There might be a little bit of logic in there, like the whole stability piece, like that is logical. Like, let's get stable, but it's all wrapped around an emotion. For our children, we want the stability. Um, and then you now know this and you can go down that pathway. Like, oh yeah, totally. I've just seen the stability in my life after owning my home, and it's great. So if you were able to get a house right now, it sounds like the only thing that's stopping you is the interest rates, right? So we're going to the emotion and then we're going to isolate this concern. Because if their only concern is interest rates are 6.5% and I can't afford it, what if we connected you with a builder? Edge Homes right now, I'm hoping a buyer, well, really my wife is, but they're getting a 3.99% interest rate. Now it's a 7 year arm, which means it's an adjustable rate mortgage. So after 7 years, it can go up or down based off of where interest rates are at the time. So, but it only changes 0.5%. So, like, let's say interest rates stay exactly what they are 7 years from now, then their interest rate would go from 3.99, well, basically 4% to 4.5%. And then the next 6 months later, it would go to 5%. And then 6 months later, it'd go 5.5. And at that, I mean, they can refinance at any point if fixed rates go lower, or maybe they'll move in 7 years. So, like, that is like one of the solves to this interest rate problem. So we're gonna talk emotional, like maybe ask them questions to bring the emotion into it, and then we're gonna isolate their concern. And then if you have some solves, you don't even have to say like, "Oh, I know how to solve this for you." You could just be like, hey, would you be open if I found homes that had lower interest rates? There's a couple of ways that we could do that. Would you be open to seeing them if I found something that might work for you? Can you guys think of any like objections or things that people might throw out if that was kind of our flow. We got emotional. We said, if interest rates were solved, would you buy a house? They say, yep. And then you say, if I find you a house, would you go see it?
Well, I was in my walk this morning. I ran into a neighbor that who renting from someone's basement. He wanted
Mhm.
to find a place, but he looked and he said the HOA would just scare him. He couldn't afford a house, but he could afford a condo or apartment. But then when condo and apartment always come with HOA, even single family home come with HOA. So that discouraged him, but he's still looking, and I contact with him, and we just keep looking. Maybe now you bring out the edge home. I will bring it to him about the edge home property.
Yeah, a lot of the times, and I honestly I feel bad for my lender because I'm like, hey, go pre-approve these people, and then they get pre-approved for something, and then I'm like, look at all of these new construction and how it changes your pre-approval because instead of being able to like originally like my buyers right now with Edge Homes, they were approved for like 440 or something like that. So we're like, what do we do? And then we went to Edge Homes and we're like, oh, now we can get something at like 520. So it raised their purchase price by like 80 grand. And it just opened up all of these things. And they're trying to be smart with their money. So they didn't even go above 500 for their purchase price. But um, uh, so you don't have to go all the way up, but you can get pre-approved and then say, what's the difference from if we did seller finance or a builder doing this, or could we just go buy down the rate a little bit? So lots of options out there.
Cameron
Yeah.
tended to this. Where are your buyers looking for that price?
It was like Lehigh, Saratoga.
Oh, it is.
They
Okay.
found one, yeah, in Saratoga with Edge Homes. We're under contract, but it didn't appraise. So we're fighting Edge Homes in the appraisal.
Oh.
Cam, what's a good rebuttal for college? Like, there's a couple, they have a couple college students that they are holding off to buy a house because of that.
Um, is it because they're like paying for college or they
Yeah,
don't know what happens after college or
yeah, the paying for college.
it's a great question. Anyone have a great response? The first one that came to my mind was a snarky comment. We'll see if you guys have something better to start with.
My friend's daughter went to BYU, and she bought 4 bedroom, 3 bath, and she ran out the biggest 3 rooms. She take the smallest room, and because she continuously has renter, so it helped pay her rent. It actually helped her to go to college,
Hmm.
and she got the $20,000 first time home buyer loan. So her down payment was just literally about $1,000. So I don't know. Some does I see some cases like that.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing that came to my mind was Dave Ramsey, and what he says is that you should take care of yourself before you take care of your children. Then he's specifically talking about like funding your retirement rather than paying for your children's college. And I always thought that was mean. But I mean, it makes sense because, like, let's talk like, okay, if you're either paying for college or paying for your retirement, um, and they have to get student loans because you can't pay for them, then fast forward 20 years, like, those student loans going to be paid off because of their degree that they got. And your money that you put in retirement has now grown a whole bunch and you didn't have that much time to work anyway, so it makes more sense to pay for yourself. So I think logically that makes sense as Dave Ramsey advice. Um, but it kind of comes down to priority. So even if you just think of like all of our lives, like you are prioritizing like the car that you drive over something because we're all with this limited amount of money and it's like well, I could go drive an old, really crappy, not really reliable car and pay a couple $1,000 and probably buy that in cash. Or I can go lease a brand new car and basically just throw away that money, but then I can drive the nicest car. And it's just like, what are your priorities in life? And so if you're just thinking like looks, appearances, or like right now, like maybe like, okay, well, let's just pay for college, keep living our same life that we're living, and do all of that because like that's helping our children. Who cares what we're really doing? And we can keep living our same lifestyle. But if they looked at like their budget, there'd probably be places that they could save money. Like we could all probably cut our budget by 10% tomorrow. Like, do you really need Netflix? No, but we all have it, kind of a thing. Amazon Prime probably costs me more than it saves me because of how many things we buy off of Amazon Prime. So could we lower some of our costs to really afford everything? Probably. Um, the other thought around all of this um, that just escaped me. Um, you get it's gone. There's no other thought. How have you responded so far, Amy?
Kind of similar. I think it's priority. They they also want to buy like another car instead, and so I'm trying to like be nice about because she's my friend, and so just trying to um discuss like let's reevaluate priority priorities right now. Um, and so I'm actually she lives in Logan, and so I'm actually gonna go over there this weekend, and hopefully we can have a more in-depth conversation about it. And I've already scheduled to meet with the some just so she can have some exposure to like builders around the area, and so hopefully that will inspire her to like prioritize home over other things.
Yeah,
um, so yeah.
yeah, because it all really comes down to priorities. Like when you think back, like, oh, how was I able to pay for all of my kids' sports and things like that, and all of this stuff? And you're like, somehow it worked, but it might have been like you didn't go out to eat, so you could pay for your kids' sport team, or you just did it less, or whatever. So like life is all trade-offs, like I'm not going to buy anything for myself in November and December because we're just going to save for the kids' Christmas, kind of a thing. And you constantly do things like that as a parent. And so if they want to pay for college, like, yeah, like let's not get you that new car. Let's keep that car that you have. Let's uh, try to figure out how to best use that money. And then um, long term, like you guys mentioned, like logically, it makes sense. You buy a house, it's probably going to appreciate 4% every single year. So then you go fast forward a handful of years, you go sell that property and you have all of this money. Or you fast forward 30 years, it's paid off, and now your retirement, you're basically have zero house payment. You're just paying taxes and insurance, and you're living way cheaper than if you have to go pay for rent. So, yeah.
That is so true. It really hit hard for some of my friends that they are 60 years old, my age.
Well, I love hearing your guys' answers to these things because it shows me you have answers. Like when you're talking to people, you have it. So we can constantly improve. If you start hearing these questions, start writing down some of these and let's discuss some of these. If you're like, I need a good answer for something like this, especially the questions that get asked often or the comments that get made often. Like, hey, how's the market? Like those kind of a thing. If you have a good answer for it, then it makes it a more interesting conversation. So start to pull those out. figure those out, and you'll only get to know those by having those conversations. So go have a bunch of conversations today. Go move your business forward. And if you need anything, let me know.
Thanks,
Have a
Cam.
Thanks,
great day.
guys.
Thank
See ya.
you.